Charles and Remy are happily married with 2 kids. Charles owns a construction company, and his company is working on a big state government project, so he hardly has time for family. His wife Remy owns a luxurious fashion business she designed for famous celebrities in Lagos. Therefore, the 2 of them barely have time for their 2 children, but thanks to their ever-efficient nanny, the couple doesn't have to worry. The nanny cooks, clean, and take them to school along with the driver. The 2 kids, a boy, 7, called Malik, and his sister, Sophia, who is just 5. The 2 has no bond with their parent. They are used to the company of the nanny and the driver. Malik, who is a boy, feels lonely because the nanny spends more time playing with Sophia than him. She gives Sophia anything she wants, even the ones she doesn't want. Nanny gives it to her. The only time Malik feels seen is when he plays football with the driver in the compound after school. One day, Malik finished playing ball with the driver and goes inside to ask Nanny for his dinner, but he couldn't find Nanny and Sophia anywhere. He looked for them everywhere but couldn't find them, and just as he was about to go back out, Nanny walks out of her room with a whimpering Sophia, both of them dressed in a towel. Nanny quickly walked back inside to change into her work attire. She dressed Sophia back in her pink gown. Malik just stands there waiting for them. When they came back, Malik asks his sister why she is sad. Sophia just ignores him. Malik continues, asking if she is missing their mom and dad. "You're sad because Mummy and Daddy did not attend your tea party? Me and Nanny can come to your party if you want." Sophia remains quiet and just plays with the beads in her hair. Nanny tells Malik to stop talking and instead go outside to call the driver to come help her fix the gas cooker. Malik comes back inside to sit at the dining to wait for dinner to be made. Sophia, on the other hand, just her hugs doll, not minding anyone. This is the dynamic in the Charleses family, the parents getting richer, the kids surviving on the attention they get from their domestic staff. And the house run by the nanny, who is more than happy her bosses are busy people. One fateful evening, Malik walks into the nanny's room unannounced. From the attached bathroom, he sees Sophia in Nanny's lap. Her face scrunches up in discomfort while Nanny's hand is lost under her small gown, with Nanny's eyes closed, and Sophia's face turned towards the other side of the room where she couldn't see Malik. Malik is surprised and confused at the scenario. His young mind couldn't comprehend what he saw. He simply walks out of the room, making note to tell their mom when she gets back home. That night, Malik refuses to go to bed until their parents get back. Remy is the first to come back. Once Malik hears the sound of the car, he leaps out of the bed, rushing to tell their mom his observation. Remy, on the other hand, walks into the living room all tired and exhausted. Malik run to her, "Mummy, I have been waiting for you to come." Nanny and Sophia, he begins, but Remy cut him off, saying she is very tired and would hear whatever Malik has to say in the morning. She called Nanny to go tuck him into bed. Malik feels disappointed and just goes to his room without waiting for the nanny. Remy yawns tiredly. I'm sure he would have forgotten whatever it is by morning. Malik and his drama. She smiled fondly, then asked Nanny to lock the house as her husband is not coming back that night. He had called her earlier to inform her of an impromptu meeting out of Lagos. Weeks go by since Malik saw Nanny in the bathroom. He tries telling his father after the failed attempt with the mom, but he barely comes home these days. Malik notices Sophia is quieter now and afraid of Nanny. He even tries to convince his mom to stay with them and prepare them for school. But that morning, Remy has to rush off to the office after receiving an emergency call from her assistant about the dress she made for the governor's wife. That day, as the driver brings them back from school, they get stuck in Lagos traffic. The driver puts on the radio. Malik is playing games on his phone, while Sophia had dozed off beside him. The voice of the lady on the radio caught his attention. The lady was talking about inappropriate touching of kids. She called it molestation. Lady calls out a number asking people to report any case of such. Malik copied the number. He thought to himself, tomorrow, if Nanny takes of Sophia for bath again, I will report. As usual, the following morning, Charles and Remy leaves for work. Malik has his bath, then sits at the dining, waiting. Nanny takes Sophia to the bathroom. Malik waits for them to go in, and then he tiptoes to the bathroom hole. once he sees the same scene as before. Malik walks off to his room. He opens his phone to call the number from the radio station. He calls the number telling them how their nanny touches his sister every morning. The person on the other line asks about their parent, and Malik tells them his parents had left for work and they are very busy. The lady from the radio station, popularly known as Auntie Vicky, asked for his parents' number, and thankfully Malik knows his mother's number offhand. He calls out the number and Auntie Vicky tell him they will help him. As Malik gets off the phone, Nanny comes into the room shouting his name. She notices the phone in his hand. "Who are you talking to?" Malik tells her his mom. Nanny rushes them to the dining. She checks her own phone to see if there is a missed call from her madam. She is surprised to see none. She wondered what madam had asked Malik about. She asked, "What did Mummy say when she called?" Malik told her, "Mummy asked if we have had breakfast and ready for school." "So what did you tell her?" "I told her, Sophia is taking her bath and I'm ready." Nanny nods skeptical. Something seems off about this boy, she thought. After they left for school, Nanny had gone back to check Malik's phone history. She sees her madam number as the last call, but the weird thing is it's from the day before. She is even more confused but shakes it off. At work, Remy receives a call from a strange number. She picks thinking it is a potential customer. The lady on the phone introduces herself as Auntie Vicky, a child advocate from Lagos Boom radio station. Remy asked them what she wants with her. Auntie Vicky told Remy her son Malik was the one that gave them her number. Vicky narrates how her son had told them he feels sad that their parent doesn't love them, and how the nanny who takes care of them only likes her sister, and he takes her to the bathroom touching under her towel. Remy shouts in shock, and she is ashamed of herself. Auntie Vicky tells her they have their house address and they would be coming with the police to make an arrest of the nanny. During break time in Malik's school, he is surprised to see his mom and dad. They both look sad at their kids. Malik asked why they are here. They told him his friend Auntie Vicky called. Remy hugged Sophia, crying. The girl just looks at them confused. Getting home, the activist and Vicky is already waiting for Charles, and his wife, Nanny, who is unaware of who they are, had served them orange juice to sip on while they wait for her boss. They had told her they are Charles's clients. He had asked them to wait for him at home. When Charles and Remy get home, Nanny goes to collect Madam's bag, but Remy lands a resounding slap on Nanny's cheek. "How dare you? After everything I did for you, this is how you repay me. My child, you ruined her. You have destroyed my life." Vicky and the activist hold Remy back. The police then proceed to introduce themselves to a shocked nanny who is rubbing her stinging cheek. They played a recording of Malik's voice. She tries to deny, crying profusely. She is innocent, and the boy is just lying against her. All the while, Charles stands in the corner, ashamed of himself. He knows he has failed as a father and a man. He remembers how his son always waits up for him every night to tell him about his day, but he always sends him to bed because he is too tired. And after a while, the young boy stopped waiting up for him. Remy continued crying, hugging Sophia and Malik, chanting sorry. The police take a wailing nanny away with the promise to update Remy and her husband on the case. Auntie Vicky gave them a flyer containing instruction on how to enroll the kids in child therapy after the group left with the nanny. Charles goes up to his room, locking himself in the bathroom, crying over his failure as the supposed protector of his family. He couldn't face his daughter. Remy, on the other hand, for the first time in years prepares dinner for her children and tucks them into bed. She then goes into the room. She sees Charles in the room, asleep in the bathtub. She taps him to wake him up, then she continues to prepare for bed, both of them not speaking a word about what happened. Both of them clueless on how to approach the issue. After interrogation, Nanny confessed to molesting Sophia. She reveals her traumatic past of being molested by her uncle and how she began acting out her own abuse after watching inappropriate content involving women online. She is then sentenced to a correctional facility where she is required to undergo therapy until she is transferred to female prison on the ground of child abuse. Charles and Remy are still not talking to each other unless it is absolutely necessary, especially on days when they need to take the children for their therapy appointment. several weeks after Remy cried home to her own mother, telling her everything that happened. The old woman is shocked at everything. She blames them for putting work before their own children and demand they both address their issue as a parent. After Remy's mom left, Charles and Remy finally had a very long talk, after which they agree to clear up their schedule more so they can bond with their kids. Remy decides to have her office transferred back to the house, and Charles agrees to get a personal assistant to take workload off of him so he has time for his family. With years of therapy and constant love from family, Sophia and Malik opens up more to their parent, and they lived happily ever after.